That Cirrus bus is loaded up. Well, here we are, just passed through a little small town. Didn't even catch the name of it. It was so small, and I got it poked around the corner, and look what's ahead of me. Mount Conleon. This thing is gigantic. I think they said in the paperwork that it was 29 kilometers on the base, 29 kilometers wide. Look at that monster. The most active volcano in the Philippines, Mount Conleon, Negros Island. It's actually Negros Occidental, I think, and then you've got Negros Oriental on the other side, on the west side. Well, let me get up close to this thing and hope it doesn't erupt on us. Look at all this sugar cane. I've been passing just kilometers and kilometers or miles and miles of sugar cane. Everywhere there's a place to grow it, you find sugar cane here. Motorcycles with no helmets, but yours truly, he's wearing his helmet today. Okay, every time you go into Jollibee's or Mang Inasal, or even in America, when you sit down there at your favorite Mexican restaurant and you're having your Mexican beans and rice, and you start eating that rice, and you wonder how hard it was to get that rice. Well, out here, look at these. I see 1, 2, 3, 5, about 8 or 9 of them, 10 of them out here. They're hand planting that rice. Each one of them's got a big old batch of it in their hand, and they're running through there and stabbing it. I've seen the machines that mechanically do it, but these guys are doing it by hand. Can you imagine 8 hours a day bending over like that, walking in the mud, hand planting rice? They're working backwards too, of course, so they don't step on what they just planted. So they started out over here earlier today, and I don't know how many rows they got done, but with that many people, they can get it done pretty quick. Now there's a fellow right there, he's dragging a new batch over there to him, and they're going to cut that up with a machete, and then they're going to take the pieces and stab it like they're doing now. And behind them you got sugar cane. This is on Negros Island, by the way. And you got a guy back here with looks like a concrete pole that they used to be pulling mud, and he's leveling it all out, getting it ready. We've had some pretty good rains here, so now it's time to get out here and get the crop planted. And there's Mount Conleon behind us again. Okay, on to the next stop.